Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, today I did something that I rarely do. I know I talked about how I hate going out yesterday. So, I left my house to hang out with someone I haven't seen in a long time, I say. And not gonna lie, within about 5 minutes of meeting up, he reminded me exactly why I don't hang out with him often. It's just a personality clash mainly. And I mean, I don't think he's necessarily a bad person deep down, but quite frankly, he is very annoying. Just very annoying. Like, so this guy's 20 years old. He's only 3 years younger than me. And he recently got back into Clash Royale and he starts playing Expo. And if anyone ever played Clash, you already know the type of person we're dealing with here, okay? Like, Expo players get really bad rep, especially in recent times, okay? And the entire time we're hanging out, he's complaining like, "Oh, Expo is the worst win condition in the game. It's so bad. The card sucks. It's in such a terrible spot. Yada yada." And yeah, he's probably right. Expo is pretty trash, and the only evolutions it usually runs are Archers and Tesla, making the deck, obviously very predictable. But my thing is, if you're going to complain that the deck is garbage, then just play a different deck, right? Like, he just got back into the game. He's got a ton of like return resources and up to upgrade cards, right? Like, so why'd you waste your gold and wild cards on Expo if you think it's trash? Like, but you see, it's not actually about the deck. It's an ego thing, right? He wants to play quote unquote trash decks so he can tell himself, oh, he's really good at the game for winning with it. And he will not stop flexing about it, you know what I mean? Like, he acts like he's top tier, but he's sitting at 10k trophies. Bro, 10k is mid ladder. Like, what are we talking? Like, 12k is mid ladder. I'm at 12k. And I'm not saying 12k is good, you know? Like, I'm not walking around flexing my trophies to people because nobody fucking cares. It's a goddamn game, you know what I mean? And he's out here like, oh, you play Miner Control, you play Hawk Cycle, you play Log Pit. Yeah, you have no skill, zero skill. Like, and if you play Beatdown, he also calls it zero skill because it hard counters his Expo. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what he's complaining about. All the decks I play have a difficult matchup against Expo, but he thinks Expo gets hard countered by them because he's so good apparently. And eventually he asked to 1v1 because he wanted that ego stroke. So I didn't really care. So I was like, alright, whatever. So first game I played Miner Cycle with like no mini tank aside from Miner, which is now that I kind of deserved a loss. I can't really stop his Expo. So I got Molly Wop there. Fair enough, I deserve that. Second game, I just played a random old deck that has like one Evo and no heroes, and obviously I lost that pretty badly. But then I switched to a normal Hawk Cycle deck. His Expo couldn't beat Hawk Cycle apparently. Oh, it's too difficult. It's a hard counter. It is not. I've lost to Expo players with Hawk Cycle before. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Next game, I played classic Logbait. He wasn't even playing Expo this time. He was just running some weird Hot Lightning deck with Mighty Miner and Firecracker. Like, he swapped out Earthquake for Lightning for some reason. I don't know why he did that. So I just placed my Inferno Tower high so he couldn't Lightning. And, he just lost, basically. So, basically, we tie, right? It's like a 50-50. And I'm not trying to flex, but after that, he still wouldn't stop talking about Expo. Just talking about Expo. He didn't even say it sucked anymore. He just kept talking about it. That's like his whole personality trait right now. It's just Expo. And for hours, I don't know what kind of psychological relationship this man has with a fictional siege weapon in Clash Royale, but And I thought my Monica obsession was unhealthy. And eventually, the universe showed mercy on me, and he stopped talking about Clash Royale, well, Expo, for exactly 2 minutes. So I tried to talk about something else. I asked him, "Hey, do you want to come over to my place? We can play some Smash Bros." And This guy looks at me and he goes, "What is Smash Bros?" You know, he hasn't heard of it. No, now I'm not a bully. Like, I know Smash is like one of the most top-selling games of all time, but you know what? If you haven't heard of it, you haven't heard of it. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, what do you live under a rock? You don't even know what Smash Bros is, you idiot." So I just explained it normally. I'm like, "Oh, it's a platform fighter game with like Nintendo characters," and he looked confused. So he Googled it. Fair enough. That's good. Then he says, "Oh, so it's a fighting game." And he's like, "Nah, fighting games are super sweaty. I don't want to play it. It's too difficult." So I told him, no, Smash isn't like traditional fighting games. It's pretty simple to get into. The movesets are easy to learn. Like, the combos are what's difficult, right? And he's like, "Oh, if the moveset's easy to learn, then what's the point of playing it?" And I'm like, "To have fun? Like, what kind of question is that? What's the point of playing any video game ever? Like, have you never experienced joy in your miserable life?" And you know what? He probably never has. And you know what? I don't feel bad for him because he's obviously avoiding it. Like, he plays Expo, you know. It's kind of his fault. I had to keep my composure, so I told him, "Well, if you want a challenge, you can play characters like Ryu or Ken or Kazuya. Even Kazuya is broken. Or Terry, because they actually require traditional fighting game inputs somewhat." So he rolls his eyes. He's like, "Nah, too sweaty. I don't want to play that." Then he asked, "Are there any characters in Smash that are like Expo?" And you guess, and I'm like, "Well, I guess you can play like, you know, a zoner character and just spam the B button, but that's not really a good idea because, like, you know, you can just jump over the projectiles. You know, you don't really have to defend anything except for yourself." And he goes, "Oh, so you do have Expo in Smash?" Now I'm like, "Well, technically, I mean, Young Link is kind of like Expo if you just press B over and over again." And his final response was, "Nah, that's too sweaty. I don't want to play that shit. Expo sucks." So I'm just like, what kind of loop-de-loop NPC dialogue did I just experience? Like, did I just... What was the point of that conversation? Right? Dude, that is the one thing I absolutely despise when talking to people. Is having a conversation that is completely meaningless. When I have a conversation, I want it to have a meaning to it. I want people to like exchange ideas, tell some jokes, you know, just something, exchange something. But there was no point to this interaction. Like, he could have said, "Nah, not interested," and we could have been done. But he didn't do that. Like, no points were made. Nothing of value was gained. Nothing of value was lost. Nobody made a joke. Nobody thought it was funny. The only thing I guess I gained something. I gained annoyance. And to top it all off, right before we parted ways, he goes, "Hey, actually, you want to play Smash Bros?" I said, "Yeah, okay, sure." And he replies, "Yeah, but I don't want to." And I'm like, who talks like this, bro? Like you're just talking to hear yourself. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you know what? It's no wonder you have no friends. You know, you deserve it, okay? Now, I didn't want to bring his physical appearance into this, but because I've successfully annoyed myself by talking about him, we're going there. So, this guy's 20. When he was 19, he got his heart broken once. That was the only time he ever got his heart broken once. And instead of, you know, just growing up and moving on like a normal person, he let it run. He let it run, you know. He let that hate churn in him. He became a total incel. Like, he walks around going, "Man, fuck girls. I'm never getting a girlfriend again. They all just cheat on you." Happened to him one time, by the way. You know, peak teenager thought process, except he's 20 years old, and his style absolutely reflects that mindset. Like, the way he dressed. Like, we were going to like a pretty popular shopping mall, and I'm not saying that you have to like dress up really well to go anywhere, you know, like, but you know, you want to look at least somewhat decent and presentable, you know what I mean? Like, he woke up at 12:30. Our meetup was supposed to be 12:30. Rolled out of bed, walked out the door. That's it. He was wearing like these really baggy shorts that I would only wear in the privacy of my own home if I'm not going out or if I'm going to the gym. Something like that. Not something that I would wear out to a public space, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be somewhat presentable. A random t-shirt that was all like faded and wrinkly and like it kind of smelled bad, I'm not gonna lie. And his hair was a literal bird's nest, bro. Like, he didn't run a hand through it. He just looked like a hobo. I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know how you look like a hobo when you have straight Asian hair. Like, how does that even work? So, now, in guy friendship, there's a rule, right? If you're close to your friends and your boy looks like trash, you tell him so he can fix it. If you aren't close, you usually stay quiet and you don't talk about it. So we're kind of close. So I tried to help him out. I'm like, dude, you need a haircut. You're dressed like a hobo today. And he's like, you're just jealous. Jealous of what? Like, what am I jealous for? The fact that you look like you escaped the shelter? What? The fact that you just, what? You just fucking signed up for homelessness or like unemployment? Like, what do you mean? Like, but I saw he didn't want the criticism, obviously, after he said, you're just jealous, obviously. So I just, like, I dropped it. But later on, because he was being so incredibly annoying, I decided to just be petty and annoy him back. So every time he complained about something, I just say, okay, hobo. Yeah. He tried to clap back. Well, you're dressed like a school student. I'm like, what? You think I'm like, what? You think looking homeless is better than looking like a student? Okay, sure, bro. Sure, hobo. and here's the part where it really annoyed me, where I didn't want to hang out with this guy again. So this guy finished school last year. He studied literature, which, no offense to literature students, but what are we doing? But whatever, fine, you studied it, so do something with it, like start a book, write a book, start a blog, do a YouTube channel, just talk about your life. Like, I'm pretty sure people would be interested. Like, literally anything, right? But he does nothing. He's just a literal bum, right? Like I was in that hotel room a few days ago. Like, if his mom didn't let him live at her place, he would actually be homeless and jobless. Like, he has no job. He isn't in college anymore. He just lies in bed all day, waiting for his grandpa to buy him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he told me, I don't even play Clash that much. Only like 2 games a day. He can't even be bothered to get the 4 rewards that by winning 4 games, bro. So I asked, then what do you do all day? He's like, nothing. Like, okay. And yet, because I don't tell anyone, like my YouTube thing, I kind of keep it a secret. Only 2 of my friends know, and none of my family knows about it. Everybody just thinks I'm just a jobless college student, which is also what he thinks, obviously. So he starts trying to make fun of me for being unemployed. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, yeah, bro, of course I'm unemployed. I'm still studying. I don't got time for that, Like, and I'm like, you finish with school and you do nothing. Like, you live off your parents and grandparents. And you're calling me jobless? Like, dude, have you looked in the mirror, bro? Like, the lack of self-awareness is insane. Like, look, if you can't take criticism about your own life, then don't go dishing it out to others, you know what I mean? Like, at least I'm doing something, Like, he's just doing nothing. Like, playing 2 matches of Mid-Ladder Expo a day and judging the rest of the world. Yeah, you're so philosophical, bro. You're such a fucking, you're gonna be the next Einstein. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. And, like, if he's secretly writing a masterpiece novel in his bed and just keeping it quiet, hey, I'll take it back. Good on him. But I doubt it. Because even his dad's like, I doubt he's doing anything with his life. Which is, yikes. Even when your dad says that, that's kind of disappointing. Anyway, when we wrapped up our miserable hangout with one another, the way I ended it, I guess, just to stroke myself a little bit, the way I ended it was pretty nice to end the whole day. So we were all saying our goodbyes. There were other friends there. And this guy, he's salty about losing the 1v1s, even though we pretty much tied. Mainly, I think he was salty about being called hobo. So he says goodbye to everyone else except for me, just to ice me out. And then he would like, I'm not saying bye to you because blah, 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 something. I forgot what he said. So being mature, bigger person, obviously, I'm such a good, nice person. I'm never petty. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Yeah, see you never, and good riddance." And then I drove away. So yeah, obviously, I'm a really nice person, and honestly, I meant every word. So, but they probably thought I was joking, but I don't care. I just hope we never hang out again. So yeah, that was pretty much my day. I left my comfortable apartment just to get roasted by an unemployed hobo who plays Expo. I'm pretty sure everyone has that one unemployed friend. But they probably don't have an ego as big as this guy. But so yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys. Bye bye.